What is perfect? Well, the ancient Greeks thought the human body was perfect, but for them, it was not an individual who was perfect. It was almost mathematical precision, where the proportions of every part of the body were part of a perfect in relation to the others.
We're looking at an ancient Roman copy of a Greek bronze original by the great artist Polykleitos, who sought out to demonstrate just that. What would perfect ideal beauty be? Thinking about the mathematical relationship of each part of the human body to the other, and in relationship to the whole.
This is a sculpture called the Doryphorus. Doryphorus means a spear bearer, and he would have originally been holding a bronze spear. Polykleitos apparently called it cannon, not to be a piece of ornament, but a kind of idealized form that could be.
The idea that you could create a perfect human form based on math was really part of a bigger set of ideas for the Greeks.
The Greeks would perform their athletic nudes, celebrating the body and its physical abilities. We have a figure whose clothes have been taken off. This is a sculpture that has been that is perfect about the perfection of a human form.
This was found in Pompeii, a place where athletes would work out, perhaps as a kind of inspiration for them. But we don't really know.
So that's another layer of the meaning. This copy is based on a sculpture that is at the very beginning of the classical period, before the Parthenon sculptures and after the archaic figures. It's after the standing figure that we know as the Kouros. Here, the Greeks have turned away from the stiff rendering that has been so characterized of the archaic and have instead begun to examine the human body and understand its physiognomy. This is one of the classical expressions with
contrapposto. The Doryphorus stands on his right foot. His left leg is relaxed, and the right leg is weight-bearing, but the left hand would have been weight-bearing with the spear. Similarly, the right arm is relaxed, so there's a sense of counterbalancing and harmony in the composition of the body.
In a Kouros figure, you have both feet firmly planted, although one leg is forward, but nevertheless, if you were to draw a line between the ankles, they would still be horizontal.
And in a Kouros, the figure is symmetrical.
Here, both of these things have changed. And you see that his left ankle is up, so you have to tilt of the axis. The hips are parallel to the axis of the knee, but also tipped. And then look at what happens as a result of that. In those earlier figures, there was a perfect symmetry and a perfect line that could be drawn down the center of the body.
With the invention of contrapposto by the Greeks in the 5th century BCE, we would have, for the first time in Western art history, figures who seem fully alive, as though they just move in the world. They're just like us.
This is a sculpture that is simply walking, but the mechanics of the human body walking are incredibly complicated. And here we have a civilization that's not only was interested in understanding how the body moved, but we're interested in capturing that. We have a society that puts human potential at the
and creates figures who are not transcendent, who don't exist in a separate world, but who exist in our world. They're, in a way, ideal mirrors of ourselves.